and I think I was 2.5 minutes into my 5-minute set, and I was like, literally, this is not worth. I said the words, "This is not worth my dignity," and I just walked off and left. The show must go on. Even if the show goes wrong, the show must go wrong.
So the way I start the podcast is also realizing fuck it, it's probably fine.
With the theme song, right? And the theme song goes,
bad shows, da-na-na-na-na-na, bad shows. You had a bad show. Well, you had a bad show,
joke.
and you want to kill yourself,
Joke.
and you da-na-da-da.
Joke.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
You get it.
yeah.
But obviously, we're based out here in Berlin, so it'll be kind of like a techno. It'll be like,
Sure.
you know. But no, just to start, for people who maybe don't know you, can you introduce
Impossible.
Yes. Well, but you have to remember that all 12 people who are going to watch and or listen to this are
Hi, let's not
Berlin
play it down.
comedian.
They'll be 15.
Okay,
They'll
thank
be
you.
15, and one of them will be an enemy. I don't know.
Yeah. But just if you quickly maybe give your elevator pitch of who you are.
The name's Teddy Hall. The game's very tall. That's my classic little line. I'm a comedian. I live in Switzerland. For now, I travel around Europe doing jokes and art stuff and writing stuff. And I was going to say I was once voted something in class, but we never did that. So that would be a lie. So I guess I was voted best liar in class.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. You do. You have a liar vibe.
I have a liar's energy.
Your pants look like they could be on fire.
Calm down.
yeah.
Stop flirting with me.
Yeah, that's how we're starting the pot, you know?
It's going to get spicy.
Yeah. I like to start the pod by asking, what was the last bad show you had? And bad show, I think, is kind of up for interpretation. I think we can also explore what that means. But when I ask you when was the last bad show, what was the last bad show you had? And you don't have to say necessarily specifically, but
Last bad show. I think it depends a little on how bad. I mean, this weekend I had one that was a little on the rougher end, but that's okay. If it's been 6 weeks of me not really gigging, so I'm here to kind of shake off some. It's crazy how quickly you feel like you've lost it.
yeah,
Like how you're just like, oh, I've never done it. I've never told a joke in my life before. Yeah, I had that one where I was on to headline, and I did okay for like 10 to 15, but then I had another 10 minutes to go, and I just sort of, but it wasn't that bad. It was fine. I don't know, the last...
And for you, like, because you've been doing, I feel like I've known of you doing comedy since I started, so you've been doing it for at least...
I did my first gig in 2017.
Okay, so yeah, you've been at it for a little while now.
Yeah, I'd say I took it seriously since 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same here, and I always think that's where, or I started in 2019, or I started again in 2019, and I always say we're an interesting generation of comedian to start and then immediately lose it in the pandemic. And I always am like, I don't know, does that count? Does 2020 count if you only performed for like 3 months? But that's a whole nother bag of worms.
Bag of worms?
I don't know. It's an American saying. That's my new thing, by the way.
It's a can of worms, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but
Where,
I like to...
Where you get these worm bags?
Yeah, that's people...
You get those in Berlin at Hamburg.
In Europe, you guys have cans of worms, but in America, it's bags. We sell them.
Bags of worms?
We have bags of worms. You go to Walmart, you never seen a bag of worms at Walmart?
No, I've never seen a bag of worms.
I'm just fucking with you, but I just like to feel like I just say sayings wrong, and then I just say it's an American thing, and people can't really...
I really respect that.
And doesn't it seem like you could buy a bag of worms at Walmart?
One of my favorite things to say is, you know, when like someone asks you a really obvious question, and you say like, does the Pope shit in the woods?
Yeah.
because it combines the is the Pope Catholic and does the bear shit in the woods, but it also requires that you know both those phrases. So for a lot of people, it's just really confusing. And what you're saying is it's so obvious. And then you have to explain so much for it to be clear.
You're like, so there's this one saying. Now that you've gotten that, we have another saying. But so to back to,
I'm
so
sorry,
you had
I keep derailing
no,
your
no, no,
questions.
this is
is
wonderful.
how I conduct conversation.
But so you had this headline gig, and for you, is a bad show. You're just not getting the laughs that you want, or you feel like your performance of the material just feels like out of sync with the rhythm you want to be in. Like what makes a bad show for you at this point?
I think there's bad shows that I can enjoy, and there's bad shows that I can't enjoy. And for me, it's like if I could enjoy it if I feel like, hey, honestly, if I'm like, hey, they just really weren't my people, I'm kind of okay with that, because then I'm like, hey, it was a good laugh. I tried my thing. They weren't into it. Like if it's a super like bro-y crowd, and I'm struggling a little, I'm kind of okay with that. Where I get frustrated is when I know that it was my bad.
Yeah.
When I really am like, oh, I know what I should have done differently. And like there's always a little bit of that. I think like by my nature is like perfectionist and whatever. I'm like never satisfied with any gig I've ever done, really.
Yeah.
But like there's some where I'm like, why the fuck did I make that call? Like why would I'm so much better than that as a comedian. I know that. And then I'm like, but I think, I don't know, I've gotten quite, knock on wood, I've gotten quite immune to feeling too much shit about bad gigs. I'm quite okay with, oh, no, I can tell you what the worst gigs I had. Clown school.
Yeah. So, which this was something else I wanted to get into on the podcast, which is I've heard you. You said that you went to clown school.
Yeah.
And I feel like I had never heard about clowning, and then I went to the Fringe last year, and then all of a sudden everybody was like talking about clowning. And if it were 2014 and I was a freshman in high school, I would say clowning feels gay. But I wouldn't say that because I appreciate the queer community and the clown community.
No, there's a lot of overlap.
But I don't get it, and I want you to explain it to me if you can. And I really am open-minded about it. I swear.
Okay, so if for me, clowning stuff, like I'm newish to the wave as well. It's very in vogue. I'm very aware of. It's very like trendy at the moment to be into clowning shit. But like it's very unapologetically artsy. Where like I think a lot of stand-up like will act like they're not pretentious, but then they talk about comedy, have a podcast about bad shows and stuff, and they're just as pretentious about comedy as anyone. I'm taking the piss a little, but there's some truth to it. But like for real, I think the like clowns are like hyper dedicated to a lot of it, and they're also. I like the idea of it being quite like kill your ego-y, and you kind of the thing I've been saying is you don't. I'm by no means an expert. If clown school taught me anything, it's that I'm a baby in that field, right? But like, not differentiating between being laughed at or laughed with.
So with clowning, the point is just that there's laughter, and it's irrelevant what the mechanism is to making them laugh. Because in the broadest sense, like my understanding of clowning would be like, oh, it's more. I mean, yeah, as you said, it's like maybe more kind of
It's
artsy, but I would have also called it more. It's like more physical comedy.
More physical, physical for sure. More emotional for sure. It's a lot more about intangibles and about like connecting, and like where a stand-up will be like, hey, if I put the right words in the right order, that's always going to work. The clown will be like, what if I just look at people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you can get something from that and kind of finding what is uniquely charming about you and how you're perceived. And it's all weird to talk about because it's all so pretentious. But I'm heavy into it.
Yeah.
In that sense.
What's the part that what do you feel like you can do with clowning that you can't do with stand-up? Because to your point about like you're right, there is a kind of like stand-up is like, yeah, fucking stand-up is cool and like fucking plays are stupid and you know but what I like about stand-up, you know, and I am unapologetically someone who is like, oh yeah, stand-up is a art form,
Yeah, for
and but for me, it's like I love the storytelling aspect of it, where it's like, I love the storytelling aspect where it's like you being able to share like an experience that other people can relate to, and have that be funny. And in terms of consumption, one of my favorite types of comedy is like I love when someone makes an argument where I disagree with their point, but the logic is so sound, where you're like, I fundamentally disagree with you, but I love the way you're making the point, and it's making me laugh. And those are the things I love about stand-up. So what do you feel like you can do in clowning that you can't do in stand-up?
I feel, for me, from what I've seen, and again, very much layman's opinion, nobody take me at my, maybe I change my opinion. I change my opinion all the time. But I think that clown is a lot more, stand-up's very heady. It's very cerebral. Clown feels a lot more in the heart. It feels a lot more emotionally driven. Like when I watch clown stuff, there's a lot more times that I'm like, I don't understand why that's funny, but that's really funny. You know, whereas with stand-up, there's a certain logic, and I'll be like, that's a really, really clever joke. I don't think I would describe too many clown things I've seen as clever. And by that, I don't mean that they're dumb, but that just wouldn't be the adjective that would come to mind. I'd be like moving, or like powerful, or like surprising or absurd, you know, and you can get there, I think, with stand-up and with words as well. I think like I'm a big believer in like all the art forms are all the same in a way, and they're all like, it's just a little bit a different form of communicating the same thing. But when my favorite clown stuff that I've watched has made me feel a different way than stand-up has ever made me feel. Not a better way, a different way.
Yeah.
Whereas stand-up, I can be like, that's so smart, that's so like, that says so much, that's so clever, that's so profound as well. But I've watched clown stuff and just been like, why was that so, like, beautiful and so funny and so like everything? And there's a weird magnetic aura, and like clowns also off stage, when you talk to them, like the serious ones, they have a sort of like mysterious, like wandering philosopher aura that maybe I'm a bit of a sucker for as well. Like I think it's a big thing where if you buy into the mythos of it all, you can very quickly buy it all. But it's also, I still have enough of a cynic in me to also not 100% buy in.
Which I want to say, when's clowning like starts to like blow up to a more like stand-up like level, which I feel like it, you know, it has the potential. I am excited to hear the clowning allegations, because I feel like these type of wandering philosophers, if you thought Louis C.K. in the hotel room was bad, wait until it was done in mime. I mean
yeah, I think there will definitely be.
There some problematic clowns in the community.
I mean, I don't know the community like that. I'm like, as I said, like I'm new to it, but I would be shocked if there aren't. I would be. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty.
Well, there's pieces of shit in every community.
I mean, the clowns be fucking. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I'm sure
they do it on stage, and it's a performance,
and it's moving as fun.
Yeah.
Touches me in the heart.
It made me call my mother.
Whereas stand-ups, they just talk about fucking like put your money where your mouth is. Put your mouth where your money is.
So you said you were like, what's the last bad show? And you're like, clown school. So
because there you just repeatedly bomb.
And are you in the like you're performing for the other students in the school or whatever? So that's when I started stand up the first time, I did it for like a year in 2012, and I did a stand up school in San Francisco.
In retrospect, do you feel like it was a scam or feel like it was good? Because I always have mixed feelings about those school things.
It was. I mean, of course, it was a little scammy, but the thing that I take away from it is like I was 22. And I was like very just intimidated to go to an open mic. And also the open mics are so brutal in the US. So it's like, it's even more intimidating. And I actually also think about this is like, I think I'm not a particularly masculine guy. And I also think it's not a coincidence that I was only able to like actually chase the dream.
Cut off that in shorts.
Yeah. Do you know who Tash Sultana is?
No, but the name rings a bell.
She did this like she has this song "Welcome to the Jungle." She did like she like loops her guitar. Anyways, I have a joke about how I look like her because she's also a lesbian, and I literally dress like a worse version of her.
Sure.
But anyways, the point of what I was going to say with the stand-up school is every week we had to show up in this like dingy little fluorescent lit room and like try our jokes to the same 9 other members of the school.
Oof, yeah.
And like the brutality of that, and then staying on stage and getting feedback, the brutality of that did give me strength.
Yeah.
In terms of like nothing can be as bad as some of that was, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that energy, but throw on the fact that you're like, if you try to like do bits or use your words too much, then you get told not to. And
so that's another thing is like, so with clowning, are you allowed to talk? Like,
I think I mean, there's plenty of clowns who talk a lot. I think like it's more. It's when they're doing it in the school, they're trying to get you away from that because they're trying to get you away from the idea of trying to be witty.
Yeah.
Because like. It's a weird, like, there's so many layers to it, but like, it's like the goal is to not be trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But you're trying really hard to not be trying to be funny. Like, it's
Yeah,
very like,
it's
for it to
counterintuitive
feel
in a way.
organic and to feel natural. They're trying to find what's funny about you. And it's different for everyone. And like, it's weird and it's hard. So like,
see, this is already why, and I think you mentioned the whole like you have to let go of your ego, but I'm already like, I'm sweating thinking about it. Where it's like, I go there 4 weeks later, they're like, I think what's funny about you is your face. You know, your eyes are small.
I hated the results.
Yeah.
I'm like not even being a little bit funny. I was like, it super bothered me, and like I'm still figuring it out.
Can we talk about it, or if you don't want to?
I think so.
So what was the result then?
I mean, it's reductive, but basically a game that I found that was kind of working for me was I was getting a lot of laughs when I was trying hard but failing, and sincerely getting frustrated, and. Yeah, I didn't love feeling like funny when I lose only. You know?
Yeah.
And like there's some of it's fine if I take a step back, and a lot of my writing is very self-deprecating and is very like.
But you're in control because you're writing it and you're allowing like, oh, I want to let people laugh about this thing about me.
And there's also it's a thing of like, hey, at the end of the day, I wrote it, so it's still I'm being perceived as clever because I'm making people laugh. But I don't know if within the clown stuff, I quite got to the point of feeling like I realized again it's all like ego death shit, but like I realized how much it would bother me if I felt like the audience didn't realize I was doing it deliberately.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't matter if they're enjoying it or not. If they were walking out and they were like, that's so crazy how actually stupid he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would really bother me. Even if they were like 10 out of 10, amazing show.
Yeah.
Most I've laughed ever. I would need an audience to know that I know.
Yeah.
You know? Which is like ego.
Yeah.
Right? And not necessarily bad ego, and like I'm still figuring out what that means for me in my stand up as well. But Yeah, that kind of realization, or like stuff like that, people that I was always told to be static, that I was moving too much. I was like, I felt so restricted by that. Yeah.
But I mean, well, first of all, let me just say, I do, even though I, am poo-pooing clowning slightly, I do have to say I really massively think it's very brave. Like I thought about, maybe I should do some improv classes.
Sure.
And one of the things that made me be like, I don't know if I really want to do it is it's like, I've dedicated every fiber of my being over the last 5 or 6 years to getting good at stand-up, and now I'm kind of good at it. And the idea of starting over at the bottom rung,
Sure,
eat shit thing is terrifying. So it is very brave to be like, let me explore this other art form where I'll go back to the eat shit, be uncomfortable level. And I'm sure in the long run also that's where you find interesting things artistically. I
hope, right? I'm fresh out of it. I don't know yet. But also, like, maybe whether brave or not, it sucked.
So is there a specific...
I had an experience where I learned a lot, but it's not fun going back to sucking at something. Like, when you've gotten used to being okay at the other thing. Like, the thing I was saying to the other people there was like, and I was joking, and I would never actually do this because it'd be the most cringe thing in the world. But like after some days, I was like, in my head, I was like desperate to show every other member of the 30-person class a video of me doing stand-up. Just so that they would believe that I'm theoretically funny.
Yeah.
Which is so embarrassing.
Should we follow each other online? Just like...
Wouldn't it be crazy if, I have a few followers? Great.
Yeah.
And it's not even a lot, but it's just...
Which text do you like better for these subtitles? I'm trying to figure out which clip to post. Could you just watch
So
them
I have this new bit idea, and I just run my best material. But I do believe in the whole like using other art forms. I think it's super valuable to not get caught up in just stand up. I think improv would be great for you. Like,
I can't. And I know this makes me weak, and I know this is also maybe it's gonna upset a few people, but it's like. I took an improv class, and here's the thing. Actually, all of these art forms are the same. Improv, stand-up. You'll meet some people who are the coolest people you've ever met.
Yeah, and you meet some of the weirdest lame losers you've ever encountered.
And I can't... I can't...
So many theater kids were in clown school. I mean, Nepo babies, how many people can afford to spend $2,000 and not work for a month? Like, come on. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is... I didn't even think about the class element to clowning.
Yeah. There was, Oh, hugely. It was 29 white people and one person from the US. Like...
Yeah. Thank you for not including us in white people.
He was also like not white.
I will like it, I used to work on a fishing boat, and that was one of the most valuable experiences of my life. Of just to be, I started going up there when I was 28, I think, and to be 28 and then just be the worst at something and have everybody yell at you and you just have to take it. Like you don't want to, like, you're like, this is unfair that they're yelling at me, but you also can't say anything because you are bad at the job. That was like very valuable to me. So I also see, like, if you add the artistic layer of clowning, how that would be.
Well, I just think any other art form, like, I think it's a good influence. Like, even if it's not directly for the stand-up career, I think people that do a little bit of music on the side, or do serious writing on the side, or do, I think it's just good, because I think stand-up, it can be quite restraining to think, how do I make this work in a 7-minute set all the time? How do I make this work in the structure and rhythms of stand-up comedy that it's still, entertaining and not trauma dumpy, but like, and not like too out there that it's not excessive. Like, I think there's a lot of value in doing other art forms, even if it's just to inform your own one.
Yeah. No,
Also, like a thing I really like that like Jesselnick always says in interviews about stand up, where he's like, at the beginning everyone's doing a copy of like their favorite comedians, and he stood out because he was just doing a copy of his favorite authors. And it was like people didn't realize that he was doing a copy, but it's like because he was drawing influence from writers that he liked rather than other comics. I think there's a lot of value in like taking the other art shit that you like and putting that into your stand-up.
Well, okay, so this is actually one of the other things I wanted to get to and talk to you about, because I wrote you a message at some point last year or something.
You did a very sweet message.
Yeah,
it was very
because
nice.
you I love what you do online, because, and I think I said this specifically, it's like you're making stuff where it's like there still feels like there's art to it, which I feel like a lot of times Instagram and TikTok for me feel like the antithesis of art. And you also do stuff that I think is so brilliant. Like you started making videos where you were like making stuff where you were going from, like you went on a hike in the mountains and then you made like a little something in that that was funny. And I was like, that's also brilliant of like, I love going for a hike. Like I would love to use this constant need to feed the beast of the algorithm to motivate me to do the things that I love to do, for example. So can you talk about your like approach to that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I can try. I've had mixed success, I would say. I mean, I like I go heavily back and forth between like, hey, it's a necessary evil for this job, and like, fuck all this, burn it to the ground. So like I very much, and nothing's like gone supersonic or anything. Like I do okay every now and then with a clip, but like
But does it feel? I guess maybe actually the question. Sorry.
No, please.
Interrupt. I guess the question really, what I'm asking is like
21 centimeters.
American inches.
It's like 6, I think, 7.
Better than me. And but I feel like what I've done online is I was like, okay, doing English comedy in Europe, there's no way around it. This is part of the job.
Yeah.
And also what I think a lot of times people don't appreciate if you're trying to make a career in the arts is it's like every job has a shitty part.
For sure.
Like Beyonce probably has nights where she's like, I do not want to do this stadium gig.
100%.
Like that's just the nature of working. So I get it's frustrating. It's shitty that we're beholden to this system, but at the same time, it's part of the job, whatever. But I feel like I kind of went the route of like, okay, crowd work clips are a thing. I host a lot. I'm decent at this. I'll just put those out. Okay, people like talking to the camera. I'll talk to the camera. Like it's, and I don't. I think some of this stuff is good, but I never think like, oh, I'm really proud of this. For the most part, a lot of the stuff that I make, I'm never like, oh yeah, this is really. I really feel like I got into my creativity and I made something that I'm proud to share with the world. And so I guess what I'm wondering is like from an outside perspective, seeing your stuff, I'm like, results aside, it feels, at least from an outside perspective, like it seems creatively fulfilling, the stuff that you're making.
I don't know about fulfilling, but it's more it's definitely what the stuff I have to enjoy the process.
Yeah.
This is very important for me. I'm not someone that can work towards a destination. I need to like enjoy getting there. I think that's a big part of why I enjoy stand up as well, is it's a never ending process. It's like there's no final work. It's you keep going, you keep gigging, and then I tried to like do that with online stuff as well, to kind of be like, hey, let me just follow an impulse, make a thing. If I'm enjoying making the thing, I make it again until I no longer enjoy making that thing. Right now, to be honest, I'm in a bit of a creative rut with it, where I don't really know what I want to make, and like I could put out some reels of some like, but the things that I've had that have done well have rarely been clips of me doing stand up. Like there's sometimes been jokes that I've written for stand up and then used in another thing.
Yeah.
But like it's the format of a video of me with a microphone in my hand. It's kind of not really done great for me. But I feel like it's such a tricky balance as well though, because the things that you enjoy making are not necessarily the things that do well, and it's but I also times that I've put up stuff that I've not enjoyed, that I've thought this will do well, I've always, even when it's done okay, I've kind of hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's I don't know. I think it's important to make stuff that you, at least in the moment, you enjoy making it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to love every end product. There's a lot of videos I have up where I'm like, I could have done better, but whatever. But also finding the balance of like everything being disposable and nothing's your final piece of work, which is just the internet age, I guess. And like, you do have to have some kind of online presence if as an independent working comedian, especially when you don't have an industry that's going to pick you up because you don't do the local language stuff, right? I'm not in the UK. But like, also I couldn't handle continuously making stuff that I don't enjoy making. So I just try to follow impulses and continue to make things and try to have it be brand consistent to a degree, and not over post as well. Like, I try to not be constantly posting stuff on my my stories used to be much busier, and now I'm like, no, when I post a story, it's like I'm saying a thing and I post 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But like, because otherwise it gets lost in the muck.
Yeah.
But it's really depressing, the whole thing. I mean, there's talking of like creating stuff for the online. I at one point earlier this year decided I was going to become a video essay guy, because I got quite into those on YouTube, and I thought like that could be a type of online long form content that I could be into making, because I like the idea of making more long form stuff. So I wrote, I have I believe, 19-page long video essay that I've scripted out about making content online. I just never made it. Because I was like,
which is actually kind of meta.
yeah, but like literally the whole thing was like coming to the conclusion of the end bit was just, I'm a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna chop this into clips. I'm gonna try and I hope this goes viral. Like, but I never ended up making it. But I enjoyed writing it. So
Yeah.
I try to. For me, it's all about finding enjoyment in the process. But
yeah, which is I have this there's this podcast called Working It Out with Mike Birbiglia, and Elizabeth Gilbert was on there, and they were talking about creativity, and she said there's this saying in the Bhagavad Gita that says you're entitled to the labor, you're not entitled to the fruit of the labor.
That's good. That's
and
good.
I like hung it above my desk because that is the thing of like, I actually sometimes, I know everybody hates crowd work clips, but like I actually kind of enjoy trying the puzzle of like, I have 90 seconds to try to tell this story of this interaction, and how I do that, and how I try to also use little editing tricks to make it feel more seamless and not so rough. It's like I can really get into enjoying that. The issue is, or like, I used to do this podcast with my dog, and some of those I have to say I was really proud of those. But the thing that's demoralizing about social media is it's like the podcast with the dog was by far the most work and by far the worst result. And so at some point you're just like, I don't want to keep killing myself
but
with
you don't
this.
need to keep killing yourself with it, but you can say that you enjoyed making it, and then you learn from it.
Absolutely.
And then, you take that with you, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not someone who tells people not to post as well. Like, I mean, some people post within like from their first gig or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I don't know if that was wise, but all right. But because like you learn by doing it.
Yeah,
as well.
for sure.
Like my video clips are much better now. I'm much better at video editing. I'm much quicker. But that also is because the first few times I was doing it, the format was wrong. There were no subtitles. The noise was bad. The angle, like, you only learn that stuff by making the mistakes.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to go through it. It's the same as stand up. But I also don't want to put so much of my energy into it that it's detracting from the other parts of the work that I find more important.
Yeah, which I agree with, and I guess the thing that I struggle with is it's like the whole reason you're doing the online thing is that you want people to come see you live. Like for me, I don't even have huge goals, but it's like I would just like to develop enough of an audience that I can tour and keep writing new hours and have people who will come see me work out these hours and at some point I do feel like okay, I have to play this game a little bit. But the thing I've been struggling with lately is I'm like, am I ever gonna like make something good? Like I want to make something good, and I do think my stand up is good. But as you said, I'm the same way. It's like stand-up is not also, especially my style of stand-up, it's like it's not meant for 90 seconds. It's also not meant for like social media or whatever. So how do you is that you mentioned being like a perfectionist, is that something that drives you or that you struggle with, is like this push and pull between like, oh, I need to make new stuff and put stuff out versus like I want to make something good?
I mean, it's definitely tricky, but like I think like my priority has always been the live stuff, and I've been quite consistent at like putting that first. I've always been like, I've tried a thing for a clip before. It's never really done well. Like I've tried to like, oh, let me do the topical thing. Like, like it's not really been my bag, and that's okay. So I think like, I think making stuff that you're proud of is very, very important, and it is just to sell tickets, right? And the way I look at it is like, the way we're talking, I think someone who doesn't know me might think that I have like a lot of followers. I have like 5K, right? And I set that as a goal at one point, kind of like, to build, right? And I got to 5K and I was like, oh, I feel exactly the same as I did before. This changes nothing.
Yeah.
And that was a really good moment for me of like, if I got to 30K, if I got to 500K, it wouldn't make a difference. It would never feel like enough. Sure, it would be nice to be able to sell out a show based off of one Instagram story. Sure, that would be cool. But like, there's also people that have done that. And, I don't need to name names, but like but then people go to one show, they're like, the show was shit, they never come back.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a valuable following. That's not useful. And there's like, and I'm not against people taking risks or even being embarrassing online. Fucking be embarrassing, embrace it, try it, see what happens. But like, when it's like, clearly trying to appeal to a certain thing, I find it really like, I disconnect so hard, and I'm like, is this what we're doing? And this is if I'm going full pretentious, like, this is the death of culture, like this, we're all like leading into this. Also, Instagram's not going to last forever. Like, it's only a matter of time before it goes the way of Facebook. Like, everything dies. There's no point in investing all of our eggs into like building an Instagram thing when, like, who knows, literally maybe in 2 years, maybe even less, like, we could be like, Instagram, that's for the ancients. And then it's like, okay, cool. So the only thing that you can rely on is the live audience and the people that do turn up, and giving that as much priority and heart as possible.
So a little bit the theme of the show, the bad shows thing. I was wondering, do you remember any like just very memorably bad shows? And I can, for just to give you an example, like actually when I came and did my show in Basel, for example, it wasn't a terrible show, but I definitely struggled a little bit. One thing I learned is if you're kind of, doing your first hour and your first tour, maybe don't book 2 very professional comedians to open for you, because I had you and Sid open, and I feel like after you guys each doing a tight 10 and I came up with my very loose 60, they were like, But the point, what the
I don't know. I don't.
But
Yeah.
the thing that happened was it's at this nightclub venue,
I'm aware.
and like 45 minutes into the show, probably also because I was running late. The lighting system was on a timer. And so in the middle of one of my punchlines, all the strobe lights turn on, which that was like hilarious. In Denmark, I was performing in a bar, and halfway through the show, I noticed everybody had kind of stopped, like it seemed like engaging or listening, and I turned around and realized the bartenders had turned on the soccer game behind me. These are a few of my examples of like shows where you feel the sweat dripping down your back. So do you have any does that evoke any memories for you of particularly rough shows?
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty I could choose from. Let's go with the more recent ones, because I have like an open mic story from very, very early on that's like quite fun, where I got heckled by someone high on crack and I didn't know how to deal with it.
Can we do both?
Yeah, I could do. Yeah, okay, why not? Yeah. Very early on, I was on an open mic booked by a fantastic comedian.
Is this in
This
Basel
is
or
London?
in London?
Back in the day. I started on the open mic scene in London, and I was booked on, and it's also a bringer show. So for those that don't know, it means you have to bring a friend to be allowed to perform, because London open mics are rough. Anyway, so I went to the show. So I had two friends with me, and it was in an area called Stoke Newington, known as Stokey, which is quite a rough area, but it was fine. And it was underneath a kebab shop. Classic.
The stage is set.
Yeah,
We're in Stokey underneath a kebab shop.
Yeah, no security.
Yeah.
And we're about in the first half, about third act is up, and during their set, someone comes in, and it's like a lady who, I don't know how to say this respectfully, but like was clearly high off her tits on something, presumably crack. Kind of, I had like a vibe,
Yeah.
But there's no security, and no one wanted to be the person that's like, "Hey, fuck off, you homeless person." Like, But you're trying to be cool. It's a free show. Like if she wants to sit down and be cool, like whatever, right?
Yeah. There's also an extra dynamic with like, I feel like with being a woman, where it's like, where it's like, okay, well, what if she gets like wild? Like, I don't want to get physical with her. And
like also like she was black, so it's like the white Hecklers MC is not gonna be like kicking out the black woman because she's being destroyed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's a lot of layers of why.
So everyone's trying to be very respectful,
Yeah.
right? But she starts like shouting in and like heckling the person before me in a way it's not like sensical. Like, it's just high. Like, it doesn't even make... It's just, half the time, it's just like...
Yeah.
So, it just gets really awkward. The act handles it pretty decently, to be fair. It doesn't really get to do any jokes, but it is what it is. The MC goes up and sort of tries to talk to her and tries to be like, hey, we don't want to kick you out, but like, you gotta be cool. One of the other comedians, who I think was the only other black guy on the lineup, like, and he was like, hey, I'll sit with you, and if you have like a thought, then you can just share it with me, and like I'll be your mate. Like, he's like,
which is a very, very respectful, cool way to handle someone who's
100%. Because like also, if we did want to kick her out, who's gonna fucking do it? Anyway, and so the MC, like, after about 7 minutes of trying to like get her to agree to be chill, he like brings me up, and like literally as we're like shaking hands going on stage, he whispers in my ear, "I'm sorry, man."
And how long have you been doing comedy at this point?
This is maybe gig 20 maximum. Yeah. I'm like a baby.
Yeah.
And I go up, and I think I got halfway through one punchline before she interrupted me, just shouting like, "Oh, I run Stokey," and I was like, "Oh, cool, we got the mayor." And that got a laugh, and I was like, "Huh." But then she felt like I was mocking her, and there was this weird thing, and I think I was 2.5 minutes into my 5-minute set, and I was like, I was like, literally, this is not worth. I said the words. This is not worth my dignity. And I just walked off and left. And like everyone had done everything within their power, but the MC probably should have been like, yo, you gotta bounce. You know, and it was no one's fault. And like, you know, I don't even hold it against the lady, right? She's in
a tough
troubled
situation,
soul,
but
you know? Her life's harder than mine. I'm not gonna fucking be a bitch about it.
That being said, she doesn't need to be at a comedy show.
But it wasn't a fun time for me. I got very drunk after that show with my two friends who I just embarrassed myself in front of.
Yeah. That's also a tough one to have your friends come to because you're like, I'm doing this new thing.
Well,
and then they're like, is this what it
shows,
is?
All the bringer shows. Like, these are all my early gigs where I was eating shit. And I was lucky enough to have a relatively wide circle of friends in London because I had like my uni friends, some random like life friends, and like my bartending friends. So I had like a wide enough circle that I could always get someone. But like, the amount of people that I've bombed so many times in front of, and they kept coming back to these shitty 18-person like long lineup shows that were fucking rough. You know, it's just with the occasional good act, but like mostly just a bad time.
Yeah. I also was gonna say, I was gonna ask is like, so you have your new show, Slay Boy, which is kind of like conceptual about. Sorry for my low level of, but like
that's okay. You haven't seen it. Why would you know?
Well, you take things that you've taken from online, but it's like you're kind of like, I'm gonna use the show to help me defeat some of my like addictions or bad habits.
Yeah.
And before that, you also did another show that was about like mental health, your own struggles with mental health. And so did you take you've toured both of the shows?
Kinda. I mean, the thing is, this is where, like I said, what we were talking before with like the cynical marketing brain comes in, where like I've sometimes done the show without really telling people that's the name of the show. Because I'll market it under a theme, and like it's a little bit of a sneaky trick of like, because solo nobody really cares who I am, right? And that's fine. That's why would they? So like, and I don't want to compromise on the artistic name of the show, because for me that's a thing that has value. So I make sure, but like also. So the first hour is about a year in my life. It's about the year 2022, more or less. There's one or two things that are from 23, but that doesn't matter. And it's about being in a mental health institution for the first 5 months of it, and about like that journey. But it's also my first hour, so it's also like a collection of basically some of my best bits, like kind of shoehorned in to the structure of a year in the life. And then the second hour, that's the one I'm working on right now, which I'm like is my show that I'm developing for festivals. Essentially, is the idea. And yeah, it's about. And
you've taken it to a few festivals as well.
I've taken it to Reykjavik Fringe. I'm taking it to Tallinn Fringe in a week, and hopefully Edinburgh Fringe sooner or later. Maybe Adelaide this year. Knock on wood. Hopefully.
Nice.
But yeah, and Barcelona Fringe as well. So yeah, that's a show I'm very proud of. It's very cool. It's like the show is intrinsically connected to my real life, which is quite fun.
Yeah,
I'm into that kind of art shit.
Well, that's as I said, I like the art of stand-up. So I also like a conceptual show that's like doing something interesting and approaching it in a kind of a different than just like. This is a joke. This is a joke. Here's another joke.
I mean, I got respect for joke comedians. It's just not me. I'm like always. I'm way too in my feelings about things having like some kind of meaning or like personal value, because I'm so driven by what I care about and what I'm passionate about. So that also means I need to care about it to make it happen. Like if I can't detach and I can't just be like, this is just a really good joke. I have to be like, what does it mean to me though? Yeah. And it's like, it's a fucking joke about airport smoking lounges. Chill. Like, I'm like, no, but what is it saying? I hate myself sometimes.
It's saying that they're clear.
Yeah, no, but like originally, so the joke. So without telling the joke, I'm not going to do the whole thing because that's lame. But it originally was just a joke, an observational thing about how it's weird that airport smoking lounges are see-through.
Yeah.
And it's now becoming a thing about seeing a child that's your past self through the glass. And it's just become this whole like weird interactive moment that I have with an audience member as past me. It's really weird, and I'm really pleased with it. But it's also like, couldn't it just have been a fucking joke about an airport smoking?
Yeah, but to me, I feel like that's the beauty. It's like you took like a classic observational humor thing and you made it you, and that's stand up. Like, or that's what good stand up I think aspires to be.
I think I like the idea of writing. I always liked the idea of writing material that no one can copy because it's so specifically about you.
Yeah. That's also a thing I got from WTF. Is Marin was like. He was like, if you're writing about like your specific own experiences, like no one can ever steal your jokes.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but for me, I was always like very much someone who was paranoid that people would call me out if I talked about a topic and didn't know enough about it.
Ooh, yeah.
So I always strayed away from like super explicitly political. I like the idea of things being implicitly political, even if they're not explicitly. But like I was like, that's why I wouldn't necessarily do like a joke about the genocide or something. Not just out of like, I don't know how to make it funny, but also like I don't want to pretend that I'm in an expert position.
Yeah.
You know? So like, and then I was like, what could I be an authority on that no one else is? So that's why all my comedy's me. Because it's like, that's the only thing that I'm like confident I know more about than any other fucker.
Yeah, no, I have exactly, and that's also like a feedback I've gotten before of like, oh, maybe you should go like a little further, like from yourself. Like another comedian said that to me before. But I feel the same way as you, where I'm like,
there's also I like the idea of an artist's gift is to share how they view the world.
Yeah, and also hopefully it's something that people relate to and
Right.
also feel that. But back to my original, so I was asking you about the two shows because, as I said, it's like, so I have my show about my moms, and I took it out on tour, and I took it on tour with the idea explicitly that I was like, I think this will make me better at doing comedy. And I think it did. But it was definitely some growing pains. And I will say one thing that I was hard about it was it's like a deeply kind of personal show about my childhood. And also like even in a way, not only about me, but like about my mom's.
Yeah.
And so when it went bad,
Hurts so much more.
it's like, so you're like, oh, like I did a disservice to like my mother's parenting with tonight's show. So, and I could imagine something similar, like doing a show about, you know, your experience, like being in this mental health clinic. Again, also deeply personal, but it's also your first hour. So were there some growing pains with that?
Loads. I mean, there's quite a few times that I kind of would reach a point of it eating shit and just be like, it's not just a rejection of me as a comedian, it's a rejection of like my journey. Because like a lot of the show, like this is a super reductive version, but a lot of the show is like essentially being like, hey, I've chosen a path of happiness instead of choosing a path of depression. And it was just like, that's all well and good when people agree. When they don't, it's like, maybe I should be depressed.
Like, I'm taking my power back. I'm going to be happy. I want to live. And they're like,
but I think that's the case with all like mental health material or super personal material. I have that a lot with so I talk about my absent father a lot, and like with material around that, where I got to a point that it was too much, where I didn't like how much it was like a cartoon version of an absent father. And I was like, and other people were making jokes about my absent dad when I wasn't there. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if I'm super happy with that being like a thing. But it hurts so much more. I mean, the big growing pains. I had a really rough one in Luxembourg, I remember, that hadn't sold particularly well. And like then it's just telling 8 random finance people in Luxembourg about why you didn't kill yourself. I was like being like,
And
this
they're
is
just-
comedy.
I also in Luxembourg. I actually had mostly a very nice.
I've had some amazing gigs in
Yeah.
Luxembourg as well. Let me
but
to be clear,
that
but
same first tour, it's like it was like full, and I was coming off 2 real rough shows, and it was going pretty well. But there's a section in the show where similarly where you say you're like. Your first hour, you had some of just like your best bits shoehorned in.
Yeah.
Similarly for mine, it's like I didn't have like a full hour of Gabe Heron stuff, so it was like, here's this little section about like that are like drug related jokes, you know. And I had mostly only been performing in Berlin, and I didn't even conceptualize. And so it's like I do these jokes and they don't land at all, and I'm like, these are good. These are pretty strong jokes actually, like. And I kind of was like, what, you know, I heard some like whispering in the back, and I was like, oh, what's going on, you know? And they're like, we're worried about you. And I was like, you know, because in Berlin you're like, I do ketamine, and they're like, yeah. And it's like in Luxembourg.
But that's the classic trope of the Berlin comics coming outside of Berlin. Like I've seen it, you know, without naming names, but like I've seen enough people come to Switzerland and be like, you know how we're all doing heroin, and you're like,
you know how we love to be pissed on and beat on.
Yeah.
I
I was just like, I don't know if like people outside of Berlin find that like as chill as you do.
Yeah. But so I could definitely feel you with just Luxembourg people. They have a certain correctness to them.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a colony of Switzerland in a way. It has a similar energy, so I don't feel that like I kind of get it. I feel like I know how to play that vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the thing, I like fucking writing. Sometimes I wish I could write less personal material. Like I wish I was more motivated to just be a joke guy. And I think that's also, I would really love to do more stuff that's a bit just like, hey, this is just a goofy thing. Like, this is just me in a silly hat. Saying funny soup names, you know, something like that. Actually, that's pretty good.
I gotta write that down.
Bouillabaisse. Oh fuck. But yeah, I don't know. I think, but those.
What was the like on that first run of you doing your show? What like was that Luxembourg one the worst one? Was there?
That was a rough one. I had one in Frankfurt that was... No, actually, the Frankfurt one was okay. That was just that I got annoyed at myself because I went too sad. This is a thing that my dear friend Albert Lowe has referred to as teddying it, where I will be doing like
where
a
you
lot
don't have a dad.
Sorry. No. Very well played. Do you have 2 moms? Fuck you.
I felt uniquely positioned to come with that joke.
I was going to say, like, your parents didn't use protection.
Yeah.
But that's because they're lesbians.
I had
lesbians use protection? Is this a stupid question?
I try generally not to think too much about lesbian sex lives.
I can see
if I go online, if I'm looking at something of the pornographic persuasions that comes up, I just...
To be fair, I'm the same with straight porn. I'm like, it's always just like my parents. Because it's always a woman solo.
But I keep interrupting you, but I was just going to say
to
your thing about the like people making jokes about your absentee father.
Right.
I made a lot of jokes about not having a dad,
right.
and like my own issues with like older men. And then I had a MC or show producer who we maybe were talking about before off mic at one show be like, I know you got weird daddy issues, so I'm proud of you.
Oof. Did it work?
A little bit.
I know for sure it did. Like, I've been there. I literally am working on a bit right now about how much more the praise of any old man means to me than anyone else's opinion. Yeah, but I've had
So in
gigs-
Frankfurt, you
I
went
te-
too sad.
I
You teddied it.
I teddied it because I like went too into like my like this is an emotional moment bag where it was like it's just the comedy, man. Like it should also still be funny if you're otherwise it's just a bit self-indulgent. And then I always feel guilty of like the last thing I'd want is people thinking that I thought that was like funny enough. You know, like this is always what I come down. I don't mind bombing if I feel like the audience knows that I know that I bombed.
Yeah.
My thing is, it is a recurring thing there of I'm desperate for people to perceive me as intelligent, and there's nothing that or like connected, and if I'm like not perceived as reading, like it's fine if I bombed,
Yeah.
but if I bombed and I think I did well, that's horrifically embarrassing.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
if the audience thinks that I think I did well.
There's two more things I wanted to kind of touch on before we wrap up, which is
Sure.
one is I'm always interested in what people's experience of being on the road is like, because I had this idea that like I was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna like go to all these cities that I've never been to before, and I want to like see the city and you know enjoy this time. And I got out there and I was like, oh, I'm tired. I want to go home. I maybe want to do a little bit of work or like writing and you know whatever. And also there's like this dynamic that's so interesting, I think, about doing comedy on the road, where it's like ideally you have this kind of cathartic thing where you're connecting with all these people, you're making them laugh. It's like kind of you know, a very communal thing, and then like the next frame you're just like by yourself in a restaurant eating a hamburger.
Yeah.
And like the jolt of that was very discombobulating to me. And so that was actually kind of the impetus of the podcast, was I was like, I wanted to hear about how other people's experiences were with the with being on the road and dealing with those things, and if you had if you had similar experiences, if you had any kind of like tips or ways that you approached the lifestyle that made it more forgiving.
Yeah, a lot to answer there. First of all, it sucks. I think touring sucks. That's kind of just the fact of it. That's the job. I liked the phrase. I love a phrase, but like I do the shows for free. You pay me to travel.
Yeah.
Like the shows are the best part. The shows are super fun. That's what you're doing it for, and like I think it's super important to remember that's why you're there. And that becomes hard when the shows are smaller or are harder or like, but it's still, you know, some people that showed up to, it becomes, I had a really rough time whenever I've had to cancel a show. That's when it really, really hurts. But hey, as like the whole thing is just like, it's not an enjoyable experience to be in a new city every night. It's not, it's super, I think we underestimate the level to which it's also just sensory overwhelming. I'm on the spectrum as well with my ADHD and, you know, suspected light autism, but like, just, you know, in like a TikTok way.
Yeah.
So
and
like,
you like trains.
I actually quite enjoy a train. I enjoy a train.
I'm more of an airplane guy. That's where I am on the spectrum.
I'm not. Like
I'll go like a little boy and stand in front of the window and watch the plane like park, and I'm like, this is pretty cool.
But I don't know. I think that it's super uncomfortable. It's my biggest advice is like the nicer a comm is worth it, and location. So for me, it's like accommodation as close to the train station as possible, and pay for the hotel. Don't do the hostel. It's not worth it. If you are someone that can do this, don't drink.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been sober for 2 years, but like, or at least California sober. I don't know how I would have done it when I was drinking.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone does it. I don't know how party comedians live. I don't understand how they are able to tour and not feel like shit all the time. But
And that's also like, I mean, I'm not even I wouldn't get like, I'm not like a party comedian, but like I was drinking sometimes, and then especially because it's like if you get like a free drink at the place and you lost money on the show, you're like, I gotta get it back somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Well, you gotta
but that's even more lonely than the hamburger by yourself. Is like when you're just sitting at the bar by yourself and you're just like, you just drink 2 beers and you're like, now I've got a buzz, time to go back to my hostel. Like, that's like,
I really, really have to like think of it as a work trip, like, and really have to like get into that mindset of this is not meant to be the fun bit.
Yeah.
This is the work time. The fun bit is the couple of hours on stage, and sometimes there's a nice experience around it. If I can get like a coffee with a local comedian or a dinner with an old friend in town, then I will always try to do that, because just a little bit of social time is helpful. And I take off any pressure from doing tourism. I will be back in all of these places. Unless it's somewhere that I really want to do tourism, in which case I plan for extra days. Like when I went to Iceland, I was like, I don't want to just do 4 gigs in Reykjavik and then go home.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm going to stay for a week and I'm going to make sure I have time to explore a little, because otherwise I'll be like, why the fuck was I in Iceland and I didn't see a single waterfall? Are you crazy?
Yeah. Especially a place like Iceland. Yeah.
Yeah, but like if it was my first time in Paris, I would be like, hey, let me make sure I'm there for a few days. But if I've been to Paris before and I know I'm going back, then I'm happy to be like, I don't care about the Notre Dame.
I'm here for work.
I'm here for work. Let me just stay at the accommodation. Let me also find a park. That would be my big thing. Find a park and like allow yourself time to just chill in the park and not think about like, ooh, am I doing tourism?
Yeah.
Because also most places you'll be back.
Yeah.
And if you won't, then you won't, and it's okay.
And also I will say, to piggyback on that, it's like the time to tour with comedy is mostly like when the weather is terrible and bullshit. Yeah. And so it's doubly bad when you're like, it's freezing. All right, I got to get out there and just see a couple of things. Okay, well, I think we should wrap up here because we've been going for a while here. But before we go, this will probably come out as you're going out on tour. People can find you at teddyhall.com.
TeddyHallComedy.com.
TeddyHallComedy.com. The link is
I think if you
below.
I checked this recently. I think if you search Teddy Comedy, you find me. So
okay.
That's the easy way.
So you can search Teddy Comedy. You can check out the link below. Follow Teddy online. Go see him live.
Hell yeah. Please do.
Yeah. And thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. This is very nice. Pat Moore, an absolute delightful host. I stayed at his place this weekend, and it was very nice, and it was very generous. And he left. He said I could help myself to his weed, which is crazy hospitality. So I just want to shout out that.
It's not even crazy hospitality. It's just that's a stoner. That's a stoner who's been like, I know.
No, but like I was just like, oh my god, I felt like such a princess.
Yeah.
It's delightful. Yeah.
Well, thank you, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. It's been a pleasure.
Must go on. Even if the show goes wrong, the show must go on.